You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for The Whale. Before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Whale was a special presentation, part of the Cinema Q programming track here at the 2022 Denver Film Festival, directed by Darren Aronofsky and starring Brendan Fraser. The film follows an obese and reclusive English teacher who tries to reconnect with his estranged daughter for one final chance at redemption. In addition to screening the film here at the Denver Film Festival, screenwriter Samuel D. Hunter was also on hand to discuss the film as well as the play he wrote that the film was based on, which just so happened to open here in Denver first, as he received the Excellence in Writing Award for the 2022 Denver Film Festival. If you're a big film fan and you pay attention to the festivals and you're getting excited with all of the Oscar buzz, The Whale has been front and center when it comes to awards discussion, specifically for Brendan Fraser's performance. Outside of that, you may be hard pressed to find much about The Whale. They finally released a poster. However, that poster is just another version of the exact same picture we've seen over and over again. The only picture we've seen over and over again. The film is set to release on December 9th. However, A24 is keeping any sort of real trailer from the masses. So my excitement for this film was pretty much purely based off of Brendan Fraser returning and the accolades and praise he had been getting, because Darren Aronofsky is a little bit hit or miss for me personally as a filmmaker. There are films of his that I adore and that resonate deeply with me, and there are others that just didn't work in my eyes. Thankfully, I have to say, The Whale just worked for me. I adored this film. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the positives first. Well, let's get the big talking point out of the way right off the top. Brendan Fraser is, in fact, fantastic in this film. A career defining performance for Fraser. This is a role unlike any I've ever seen him in. It is so vulnerable, so complex. This character is deep, and they have been through quite the journey in their lives. It's so evident through Fraser's performance, right from the first frame we see him in through to the very last. It is an amazing piece of work from Fraser in the leading role. But he's also working with actors who all deliver fantastic performances. Every single acting performance in this film is very, very good. I have to praise the original score because it was amazing. As we're getting closer and closer to Oscar season, these original scores this year are making it really tough for me to decide on who I'm rooting for in that category. This score in The Whale was spectacular and utilized so effectively. I also found the screenplay to be quite fantastic as well. A big part of that is credited to Samuel D. Hunter, not just for his work adapting the screenplay, but from the original play. He spoke to us a little bit about his process, stating that this wasn't autobiographical. However, it heavily derived from his own personal experience using food as an emotional crutch. And obviously, he struggled with a lot of the same things the lead character in this film struggles with. So they're both queer. Also, they're both teachers. So he took a lot of inspiration from his own lived in experience to create this character. And it rings so true because this character feels so real and authentic. The screenplay really delves into some deep topics, and I think does so effectively while maintaining an accessibility to outside audiences. This idea of grief being at odds with yourself, being at odds between religion and your sexuality, of course, just flat out depression. All of this really manifests itself. And I think it does a good job of depicting an eating disorder as the complex issue it is, ties it has to your mental and emotional health. I personally felt the film did a nice job showcasing that. I also found the film to be beautifully directed. I think Aronofsky really finds a balance. It all takes place in a single apartment building, but that felt appropriate and it felt needed for this story specifically. Seeing others say that it felt really stage playy and melodramatic, but I found the setting to just work for the story that was being delivered. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to The Whale? I do think the melodrama critique has a little bit more credence than the stage play critique that I've been reading, because there are so many people who come in and out of this apartment for the times, for whatever reason, several different reasons. Meet these periphery characters, and not all of them bring something meaningful to the table, something that I think enriched everything. One of which is this pizza delivery driver. Mm, I don't think it really leads anywhere substantial. And honestly, I think that bit could have been cut from the film entirely. Everybody else has a purpose, but sometimes it doesn't feel quite authentic. Some of the interactions with this estranged daughter specifically are a bit over the top. Some of these interactions with this young boy who is going door to door to introduce Jesus to people, uh, not all necessarily needed either. Really, his friend Liz, played by Hong Chow, is the only one that never has anything that's felt like it's not needed. Really, his friend Liz, who's played brilliantly by Hung Chow, is the only other character that doesn't have anything that feels as though it could have been cut out. But really, just those small moments where it feels a little bit over the top, it feels a little bit dramatically curated, are my only real issues with the film. And those are few and far between for me. It's just a moment here and a moment there. Otherwise, I think The Whale is a heartbreaking, beautiful, effective character study of this man and his trauma, healing and overcoming while also succumbing to those experiences and the trauma. I was moved by the film. I thought it was beautiful. And honestly, it's one of my favorite films of 2022. I loved The Whale. It's not an easy watch, not like a light Saturday afternoon, head to the movies type of thing. Be prepared when you walk into that theater, possibly bring some tissues. But I certainly recommend seeking out The Whale once it does open on December 9th. So that is my review for The Whale. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see The Whale? Have you already seen it? Let me know your thoughts either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.